Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a Monday morning edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. I'm sitting here with comedians known as Fig and Talent. In case you guys don't know, they've been in the comedy game for so many years. You know, these guys are considered dinosaurs in the game. They've been in films, they've been in TV, they've been in festivals, they've been in commercials. I know y'all don't look as old as dinosaurs, but damn, y'all been in the comedy business for a long time. But guess what? We talk about sports here on a Monday morning. And being that we talk about sports, Talent, Fig, we got a lot of sports to cover, man. So before we jump into the big hot, like there's a lot of stuff that happened since we went off the air on Friday. You know, the Antonio Brown thing happened, the World Series thing happened, a huge football game this weekend. I'm gonna throw this thing out there to you that I didn't hear anybody talking about over the weekend. Remember Dana Stubblefield, the guy used to play, he's the ex-NFL guy, he used to play for, he was defensive end, I think it was. He played on defense for the San Francisco 49ers. This dude, believe it or not, got a 15 to life sentence for raping a disabled woman. Now, he got his sentence on Thursday. Nobody talked about it. I didn't hear it anyway. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because he's saying he was completely framed. And I meant to bring it I meant to text you guys about it over the weekend, just let you guys know about it. But he got framed. Of course, the attorneys and everything else for the state, the district attorney's office was saying he just raped a disabled woman, and he's been trying to prove over the weekend that she wasn't disabled. But here is a classic case of what his case has been talking about. Here's a classic case of getting concussions during games. We all know how big that is. You know what I mean? How that's been having a huge impact and everything else. Now, I don't want to talk about it too long, but I do want to just mention it and say, Talent, the physicality of football, right? Especially after we've seen some hits this weekend and everything else. Do you think these concussion things are as huge as they are saying it is? Or do you think it's now because the helmets are designed differently that it's not as big as what it was 10 years ago or 5 years ago, so to speak?
Well, so I guess you're referring to the whole CTE thing?
Yes.
Okay. I know that for a fact that you might have some post-traumatic stress that comes from that, but I don't think that warrants or excuses certain behavior after the game. You know what I mean? Can you lose some memory? Can you have some mental lapsing? Yeah, but I think stuff like rape and actual, murdering and stuff like that. One thing about the mind is very tricky. When the mind goes left, so to speak, or out of whack, you're more prone to hurt yourself than to go and put a methodical crime together. This is a methodical crime. If he indeed is guilty of raping somebody, with special needs or handicap or whatever, that's a methodical crime. You know what I mean? Now, you're more prone when the brain gets damaged like that, is to do crazy stuff to harm oneself. That's why you've seen a lot of the people that made their case on CTE was a lot of suicides or attempted suicides because they went to hurt themselves. This right here, I can't say that because look at a guy like Meggett. Remember Dave Meggett?
Yeah.
Meggett has been rape case after rape case after rape case. He ain't been hit that hard that long. You know what I mean? When they pulled up his rap, he's been doing it since getting accused of it since high school and college. They've been covering it up because they wanted his talents and people wanted him as an athlete. So they went out of their way to pay people off, cover it up, discredit it, whatever the case may be. Now, when the game is over, he go and do it again and get some bona fide rape charges, and here we go again.
Right. Fig, what you think?
I think Talent synopsis is fascinating. I'm captivated, man. I'm like glued to the screen. Like, did you hear the stuff that he's spewing, man? It's absolutely amazing. I'm just like, wow. I didn't know he knew that much about CTE. Yeah. I thought it was like a bump on your head when you get your bell rung. That's what they used to call it back in the day, getting your bell rung in football.
Right.
They didn't even have a name. Did we even have a name for CTE?
That's true.
He was like, yo, yeah, he got his bell rung or he got a stinger or something like that. That's all it was. Now I got to clear the name for it. The first thing that I want to say, man, is like, yo, these guys are cut from a different cloth from the beginning. Yeah. Football players have a different mindset, I would say, probably than any other sport that we know, any modern day sport. These guys are what are the closest thing that what we would consider to modern day gladiators. So they're already cut from a different mindset, a different cloth, very aggressive, you know what I mean, in their approach to doing what it is that they do. by nature because it's their sport, the sport that they chose. Maybe can a head injury cause you to do some things like that? I wouldn't venture to say. I would probably lean to more to what Talent was saying, that it probably would make you want to hurt yourself. But what about the dude? Then I go back to Aaron Hernandez. You know, I don't know if CTE caused him to do some of the things that he did. You just don't know. I don't know if there's a long enough history of NFL players committing crimes of passion based on a head injury to be able to link the two. It just doesn't, you know, I don't know enough to say anything about it. It doesn't make sense. And it's a horrible thing, man. Like rape is a violent crime. It's not a sexual crime or a crime of passion. It's a violent crime.
Right. Now,
and that's horrible.
Yeah. Let's get ready to move on because we got, time is wasted and everything else right here. Let's talk about the baseball thing. I wanted to at least mention about I at least wanted to mention about that before we jump into football more definitely, but we got to at least talk about baseball because Friday when we got off the air, the series was looking kind of neck and neck. Saturday, after the game on Saturday, how a World Series game ended. I'm not sure if you guys caught the ending on how the game ended. I was like, if Tampa Bay wins the World Series, I was saying it this time, at this Saturday, if Tampa Bay wins the World Series, the whole thing the series would be completely known on the errors and everything else on how that game ended. But the Dodgers were able to come back and make it a series all over again and actually go up last night. So, Talon, I'm going to take it to you. Do you think Tampa Bay is going to be able to at least make it a 7-game series tomorrow night and win this game? Or you think that's a knockout punch for them, especially the way they lost last night with the, I want to say the Tampa Bay was stealing home and everything else. They had a great plan, but second off, they were second off, and if he had scored, that could have changed the whole tide of the series. What's your thought?
Well, the problem is this. The problem is you have an uneven series where for one team to win, they need a lot of luck. Mm-hmm. Tampa Bay is the team that needs the luck. The Dodgers are coming in with straight skills, bats swinging. You're going to need a night where the bats ain't working or the pitching's horrible because to me, it's unevenly yoked. Like they're better than them. However, we've seen from, I believe, Game 4 that luck can happen. You can get lucky and things go your way and the stars align. And if the stars can align a couple more times, that's what it's going to take for Tampa to go 7 games. Because the Dodgers, they're just, when they're on point, ain't nothing you can do. They're on point. You know what I mean? You talk about dotting I's and crossing T's in baseball, man. And like even that game that Tampa Bay, what was it, Game 5? Tampa Bay got a 4. Tampa Bay got lucky to tie it up 2-2 with the end of that game. Mm-hmm. The end of that game, you're sitting there at home like, you got to be kidding. I'm talking about when the last time you seen an error when the guy at home plate catches the ball to stop the run, and he must have seen a ghost or something. Did you see him swing around at nobody? Yeah. Nobody did. He swung around at nobody. Then he stopped like, oh, my bad. And homeboy just slid and tapped the base. Game over.
It was horrible. It was hard. If I was a Dodgers fan, I'd have been highly upset. But hey, the Dodgers are now up. Clayton Kershaw pitched his second game. They were up. So now they're in a commanding seat right now. And when you say Fig, they got it now. 3-2.
And well, listen, man, we sort of predicted that they were going to win. That the Brooklyn Dodgers was going to win all along.
You didn't sort of predict that.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, they LA. They moved to LA. And no longer Brooklyn.
You did predict it. You and Talent, both of y'all picked that they would win.
They like Talent said, they have the most talent on the side. They have hitting seemingly comparable to what the Yankees have. Mm-hmm. Mookie Betts is next level. Clayton Kershaw, this is probably one of his best postseasons ever. You know what I mean? Because that was the big talk about Kershaw. Yeah, he's great, but he's never really great in the postseason. I mean, he pitched 2 great games. You know what I mean? And it led to wins for the Dodgers, man. And it seems like the writing is on the wall. Mm-hmm. It really does. It really he pitched an unbelievable game. I think what do you got, like 207 strikeouts now?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
All right,
I think they got it.
Let's talk about football now. Well, we got off the air on Friday. We all was blown away with the news that Antonio Brown is going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially when we were talking about Friday afternoon, early Friday afternoon. We thought he was going to the Ravens or the Seahawks. As a matter of fact, if I can remember correctly, I think it was the Seahawks that it looked like he was going to. Yeah. So then found out that, Friday night evening, that Tampa Bay was able to scoop him up and get him up on a 1-year deal. Now, Talon, I'm going to ask you this. The way Tampa Bay's been looking right now, do they even look like anybody could beat them? Because I don't see the way their defense is playing right now. I can't see anybody beating them, But I'm gonna ask you, do they look Super Bowl bound to you, Talon? Especially adding Antonio Brown, and those dudes look phenomenal yesterday. Tom Brady had 5 TDs yesterday. But anyway, and Antonio Brown hasn't played a snap yet.
Yeah, but they played a depleted Raider team.
Mm-hmm.
So I expected them to look great. Let me see them play 2 contenders, 2 people that think.
They played Green Bay last week and destroyed them. Green Bay was supposed to be one of the best teams in the league. They destroyed them.
But remember, the makeup is going to change slightly with AB. So with AB, the makeup's going to change. The play call and everything's going to change a little bit. So 2 more teams against 2 contenders. If they can beat contenders by a couple of touchdowns like they're doing these last 2 weeks, then they definitely Super Bowl bound. But if they come up against a contender, and I'm not even talking about somebody we think is Super Bowl bound, but somebody that's a great contender right now that's also putting up numbers. Because, like I know, you put up 30, I put up 30, we're 0-0 again. So I'm just waiting to see 2 games.
But Talent, they beat the Raiders, and the Raiders basically smacked up Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I mean? So the Raiders
before they were depleted, Frank. Let's stop acting like we don't know they're depleted right now.
I don't know what you mean by depleted.
Before we signed off for I'm gonna tell you, because before we signed off for the weekend, nobody said Raiders because we knew they're going through their depletion right now.
Yeah, that's true.
What was it? 5, 6, 7 players?
Yeah, but then a lot of teams got a lot of players hurt and everything. Tampa Bay, half their wide receivers core have been nicked up and injured. So I don't want to use injury. I mean, I get the point why you want to use injuries and something. I understand that. But I got to give Tampa Bay their due. And I'm real mad right now about Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. So I'm not trying to root for him. So trust me when I tell you that. It hurts to say this. But Fig, what's your thought process on like now looking at the way Tampa Bay smacked up, the Tampa Bay smacked up the Raiders and then adding Antonio Brown to that team. What's your thoughts?
Hey man, I think the thing is that Tampa Bay looks really good, and we did know they was going to look at everybody. Everybody in their picked Tampa Bay over the Raiders. But here's the thing. I want to see Tampa Bay against a team like Baltimore.
Saying the same thing I'm saying.
I want to see them play the Titans. I want to know what Tampa Bay looks like going up against Seattle. These are some teams, man. The Steelers. These are the teams that we know have a strong defense, a nice running game, and a quarterback who is comparable on Tom Brady's level.
Okay, well,
and that's what I'd like to see first before I crown Tampa Bay as hey, look, let's see him against Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. I forgot to mention real fast. OBJ is out for the season. He tore his ACL. He's out for the season. It's going to probably change the whole makeup for the Browns probably for the better, the way Baker Mayfield played. Now let me go back to my question I want to ask both of you. After this, right now, remember the first couple of weeks we were crowning Russell Wilson as the MVP of the league. Now, my weekend MVP is Tom Brady. Well, my season MVP right now has to be Tom Brady because he's getting at least 3, 4, 5 TDs every single game. Russell Wilson was my number one until yesterday because he kind of messed up his MVP voting for me, because Seattle got really exposed. But if I was to ask you guys, and I'm starting with you, Talent, who is your MVP for the season so far, and who is your MVP of the weekend? Who would you say?
All right, my MVP for the season right now, I would probably have to give it to Tom Brady right now. And same thing for the weekend. I mean,
Okay.
like I said, the only reason I gave you the answer I did about Super Bowl bound because I know that it's still right before halfway through the season, and you still got to play some contenders. But I mean, from what he's done thus far, with everything he has, being in a new place and everything, I got to give both to the same guy. I mean, with a narrowing out of Aaron Rodgers, I got to go with Brady.
Now, Fig, I'm gonna throw that same question to you, but I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say I think it was other people, but when Tom Brady basically beat down Green Bay last weekend, and then the way they destroyed Oakland this weekend, I think they got a whole bunch of MVP votes over Tom Brady's side, especially look up this weekend. Who do you think is the MVP of the weekend and MVP of the season so far? Who would those two people be?
Well, over the weekend, you got to give it to Tom Brady. But I mean, to be completely honest and fair, and when you hear my answer, this is going to be completely off the rails and fair. I got to give it to Ben Roethlisberger, man. And I'm going to tell you why. I think the Steelers are the only team that's undefeated. I mean, Tampa Bay has 2 losses. The Cards have losses. Aaron Rodgers had losses.
Everybody got a loss.
Everybody got a loss except for the Steelers. Now, here's the thing about the Steelers. They're playing great on both sides of the ball. They're playing great defense. And Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, at the beginning of the year, I was making fun of him coming back. He's an out-of-shape quarterback, calling him Fat Burger and stuff like that. But you know what? I got to give credit where credit is due.
Okay.
He's been playing lights out, man, and they're undefeated. I mean,
okay.
I got to give it to Ben.
Okay, let's move on.
Hold on, Frank. He just had 3 interceptions yesterday.
I didn't want to bother go that far. That's why I wasn't going to dispute it. It's who he feels, talent. It's who he feels.
Yeah, but Brady got interceptions.
I can't respect that though.
Okay,
Brady got interceptions, some pick sixes.
Okay, but
I can't respect. They barely squeaked by that game. I mean, by the chinny chin, because if that guy doesn't miss that field goal, they don't win that game. That's first of all. Second of all, he had a horrible game.
He didn't have a horrible game.
Not horrible.
His game was okay. His game was okay.
No, it wasn't horrible, but Vic got to change the lenses on those.
This isn't a right or wrong thing. It's an opinion. Like, who's your opinion? In your opinion,
yeah, but I don't respect it. I don't look at you see my Trump hands. I don't have to respect it.
At least you ain't doing the Trump thing.
I don't have to
doing this. You ain't doing this. Anyway, let me move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Andy Dalton got hurt yesterday. I've heard a lot of people talking about that hit that happened on Andy Dalton with the Dallas Cowboys and how his team didn't do anything and his team was acting one way, and everybody was like, if that was Dak Prescott, everybody would have been upset. People wanted to fight and all kinds of different things. Remember 2 weeks ago, or was it last week, I said that I think the team is going to implode because they want to rally around Dak Prescott and they're not going to show each other support the way they. Remember I said that a week ago. Now, yeah. I'm not trying to say I'm right or wrong. It's not a right or wrong thing. But after you saw that play yesterday, and after you saw how Andy Dalton got up, walked out of the game, and how the Dallas Cowboys got dismantled by Washington of all teams, what was your takeaway, talent, when you saw that game?
I was, and here's the word of the day. I was appalled.
Okay.
The reason I was appalled, and I had no intention of using this word of the day. I was saving it for Thursday, but I was appalled because I just said we were talking about Dallas last week and Zeke, right? Yeah. And I put all my, and I hate Dallas, I'll be honest, but I put all my faith in Zeke and those guys to show some sort of fight, some sort of rally. Like, we're not going down like that. We're not going to lay down. We are America's team, blah, blah, blah. And for that score to end up what it was and that game to be what it was, I was appalled.
Yeah, I can't even say anything about that. Frank, when you saw that happen and the team didn't rally around him, right now the Cowboys management best to pay that man. They best to pay Dak Prescott. But after you saw that, what was your thought? It seemed like the team's imploding.
But first, I want to go back to something that the great illustrious Rodney Perry said, and just call you Pelican Brief Frank. Pelican Brief Frank rides again, and it just happens to be true. I couldn't believe that the Dallas Cowboys, the supposedly America's team, lost to a team with no name. How do you lose to a team with no name? That's like you go to school, you in third grade, and you get beat up with a guy, and somebody says, "What's his name?" And nobody knows his name. I don't know. It's just some guy. He beat him up. It's crazy. You can't get beat up by a team with no name. The thing is just like you said, I think the Dallas Cowboys, I don't think they quit on themselves. I think they quit on Jerry. That's what I really believe. I think the Dallas Cowboys finally quit on Jerry Jones, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Jerry Jones won't pick a coach and have a coaching staff that is competent enough to take the pieces that they have to win. I think Jerry Jones, like most people are saying, I'm beginning to believe the clippings is that Jerry Jones wants all the credit for himself, and he won't get a coach in there that's good. At the last coaches that did anything are coaches with big personalities and big egos, and Jerry got rid of them all. And they haven't won anything in over 20 years. What has it been, like 1996? Yeah. So it's been almost 25 years since they've won anything. Yeah. And it's horrible. They've been basically 8-8 for 25 years.
Speaking of horrible and everything else, let's move on and talk about Cam Newton. Cam Newton said on the radio this morning, the Patriots got dismantled yesterday also. Nobody expected to see that coming. Messed up my whole picks, everything. But Cam Newton said this morning that he literally does not think that his job is going to be secured or is secured over the next couple of weeks. He thinks his job is in jeopery. Now, I'm going to ask you this, Talent. After seeing yesterday's game, I'm not sure if you saw it or not. Do you think the Patriots should cut him? I'm going to go on the record right now and think the Patriots should cut him. That's what I'm going to say that on the record. Yeah. I'm saying right.
I think, Frank is too hard on people's job. I love the segue, though. Speaking of horrible. That's one of the best segues on any sports show ever. Speaking of horrible, let's talk about Cam Newton. So Cam, here's the thing.
I love Cam. I love Cam, but he's played horrible the last 2 or 3 games. So you got to face the facts. Are they tanking for Trevor Lawrence?
But hold on.
The Patriots are on the Jets right now. Like, this is ridiculous.
It's 2 games. It's 2 games following the COVID thing. Yeah. So I don't think we could judge him on that. This is a virus that killed 250,000 people. A man gets contracted the virus, comes back, he's not himself for a couple of weeks, and what do we say? Fire him. What the hell is going on? I agree he hasn't played up to par, but I still think you're midway through your season is salvageable. You don't fire nobody right now. What are you going to do? Start building and revamp and getting somebody else ready? That's going to take 3-4 weeks itself. I'd rather give him 2-3 more weeks to get back to Cam the dress money. You know what I mean?
We can't address money. Fake, what's your thought, brother?
Yo, man, when you Cam Newton and you get replaced by a guy named Jarrett Stidham, you got Stidham. I mean, listen, I went through my whole life. I've never heard that last name before. I never went to school with a guy named Stidham. How you get replaced by a guy named Stidham and you're Cam Newton, the former MVP of the NFL? Yo, man, I think it's like what Taylor said, man. I was like, yo, this dude does not look like himself. Yeah, I mean, Cam has not been the great, like his entire career. He hasn't been the greatest passer in the world. But these last 2 games, man, he doesn't look like himself. I'm actually beginning to believe, and I thought the same thing yesterday before the show, is that I think that this COVID thing that he caught is having an effect on him, man. I think because you never know what the lingering effects are going to be after you catch this virus, after you contract this virus. the funny thing about it, it hits everybody differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everybody reacts to this thing differently. So I don't know if it's the COVID or the lack of weapons around Cam. I can't even say the weapons around him. I mean that could be a part of why the team is losing, but he's short hopping balls. He's never done that.
Not only that, he's not hitting his wide receivers. Not only that,
I'm just saying it seems
looks
like
horrible.
something is wrong.
It looked horrible. It looked horrible all the way around. The Bill Belichick has got the worst loss under the Bill Belichick era since the entire time being in the Patriots. Now, not to say that Cam can't come back, because if anybody can, it would be him. If he does come back and he gets some wins on it, he would be the comeback player of the year. If
let me ask you a question, Frank, just for you. Are you sure this is not a little bit of Patriot emotion coming out of you?
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is.
Okay, all right.
I'm not.
He leaned in very concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely.
Between
I'm gonna send you a package, Frank. I'm gonna send you some chocolates.
Coming from the Jets camp, I'll take that. I appreciate that. Because now I feel like I'm on your side of the ball being the Jets and Giants fan.
Now you know what it's like. Now you know what it's like, Frank. What does it feel like now? Huh? You ain't got terrible time in there to save you. Now you know what it's like to be on the losing side.
This is the new Patriot logo. It's not football. It's just comedy.
I ain't felt this since the 80s, bro. I ain't felt this like this since the 80s. Maybe the 70s. You won't be.
Welcome to the club, Frank.
Anyway, let's talk about Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray, man, because last night, that was a great game to me. One of the best games I saw all weekend. And this NFL weekend was full of a lot of great games. That doesn't really happen, but like we were talking about before we got in, you have got to talk about the play of the game. Now, to play the game everybody was different, but that DK Metcalf rundown had to be the play of the game. Talon, when you saw that, did you think that Seattle was going to actually come back and be able to snatch this up because they actually saved them from getting a touchdown? What was your thoughts?
I did. I thought it was the turnaround point. It was going to turn around and make it happen. That was like, I think I've only seen that 3 times in all the years of watching the NFL, where somebody run down and like Fig said before, like it looked like everybody was standing still.
Yeah.
And this is why you play the game and play it for real. You don't give up on the play. Ain't that what they told people 20, 30 years ago? You never give up on the play because anything could happen. And like you said, that saved the whole, running back touchdown. Like everybody was standing still. That was the play of the game. Anybody say any other play was play of the game, they clearly got a 13-inch black and white TV.
Not only that, bro, they tell you that when you play recess. Play the game's over. Even when you stop playing recess. Don't stop. Don't highlight. Don't showboat. Don't do nothing. Run your hardest. Now, I'm going to ask you this, Fig. I don't know if you noticed this, but when the guy was running, he turned around like he was about to get a stiff arm, and I think he was surprised at how close DK Metcalf was. It was like he said, whoa! You know what I mean? By the time he turned around, Metcalf then tackled him, which I thought was a play of the game. It happened so fast, too. What was your thoughts?
Man, I think DK Metcalf is a different kind of human being, man. Next level, man. Mm-hmm. This dude, he caught him from like 15 yards behind. And the dude was moving. This is talking about a defensive back who is fast. Mm-hmm. DK Metcalf caught him from like 50. Yeah, man, he looked like Usain Bolt. The way he ran this boy down. And like you said, man, he didn't give up. You never give up on a play. Never, ever. It ain't over until the fat lady sings.
Do you think that Seattle Seahawks is now exposed by the way Arizona came up and beat them last night? And not only that, beat them, they made it a close game the entire game. Like they played ball the whole game. Do you think Seahawks was exposed?
I think what happened was Russell Wilson had a bad game. Now I still think he's a star. I still think Russell Wilson is a superstar. But every NFL season, stars are prone to having 1 or 2 bad games because there's only been one perfect season in the NFL, and that's been how many years ago? But what was it, 1972? the Miami Dolphins, he only had one perfect season. So every NFL team or star is prone to have a bad game. I think that was just a bad game that Russell Wilson has. And then on the other hand, let's flip it and give a lot of credit to the young quarterback Kyler Murray. I mean, he balled out. He played his behind. He played his behind off, man. You know what I mean? These guys are both pretty much the same size. They're undersized quarterbacks. And Kyler Murray and his team, it just seemed like it was their day. They wanted it more. And he played his behind off, man. Hats off, you know what I mean, to Kyler Murray doing his thing.
Talent, what you think?
Well, first of all, that expression, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. I never use that because somewhere is a fat lady upset. somewhere is a fat lady right now like, I don't even sing. I don't even sing. I did nothing to these people. So I totally agree, man. I totally agree. Like, he plays, but see, this is what I don't like. I love the NFL. Like everybody else, I love to watch football. But what I don't like about football is you see the 6 degrees of separation, how easy it is to get praise as a superstar than to be taken, like you freaked just said about Cam Newton, fire him, give him his job up. You're always a player or two away from, yeah, he the best. He's something special to get him out of our city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This guy runs one guy down. Fig is ready to hand him the Bionic Man Award for 2020.
Yeah.
One play, right?
Yeah, but that play was phenomenal, and it doesn't happen all the time. He ran down one. He ran.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. My point is, look at the disparity of let's hand him the Heisman or superstar status to send this guy packing. And you know what? Put him on the plane with the fat lady. She know a couple of songs.
New words for the day.
I think like this. I think I was never dumb hype on Russell. I think he's good. I think he's very good. But I was never that end all be all. He's the guy, blah, blah, blah. Because the guy to me, this is why I put Aaron Rodgers above most quarterbacks. When you deplete his team and you lessen his weapons, he almost is like an NBA player in the NFL. You know how one team can like will a team to win something? He's that guy. There's not a lot of those guys. Even Brady, as good as Brady is, he needs options. He needs weapons. Aaron,
but look how
Aaron
good
almost
Brady
does not. So Russell Wilson, he's showing us right now that he's on the level where he needs shit to happen. He needs help.
Well, Brady been doing it for a lot of years without help too. So
hell,
the word for the day, a new word for the day is
what?
Disparity.
Frank, you said yourself in an argument last week about the Patriots and when Brady was there, even when Brady didn't have weapons, your defense won games. Aaron Rodgers don't have that luxury.
Yeah, he don't.
Okay, I said last week that Brady did that the first couple years before he got good. He won the first 3 Super Bowls on defense. I did not say that for the last years. Yeah, because the last couple years, he needed his defense to just step up, and he lost a couple Super Bowls because he didn't have a good defense. Let's be honest.
Well, here's the thing. I was watching something, and it was said that Brady has always, in all of his runs, had at the very least a top 5 defense, and Aaron Rodgers' defense usually falls around about 32nd.
Mm-hmm.
So Aaron Rodgers is pretty much doing it without a lot of offensive weapons, and his defense not very good.
Yeah, I saw the same thing you saw, but that's when people try to compare Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady. Conversation I don't like to have because Aaron Rodgers has 1 Super Bowl and Tom Brady has 6. So it's the same thing. I don't even want to bring this up. It's the same thing when people try to compare LeBron to Jordan and all that because it's crazy. Wins count in any league, in anything you play. Wins count. Other than that, if you ain't got
we agree on. Hey, Fig, one question for you. If you could pick one song for the fat lady to sing.
It ain't over. It ain't over between you and me.
All right, with that being said, we got to get ready to bring in my man, Mr. Rodney Perry, because it's around that time for, what do we call it, segment show? It's I Disagree. Now, Rodney, I know we said a couple things that you disagree on and or agree on, and we didn't even cover all. I mean, there's so much stuff happening this weekend. We got a lot of stuff to talk about next couple of days.
All right, let's get to it. Good morning, fellas. Good afternoon. Good evening. All right.
Morning, Rod.
We
Right
talked
there.
about the effects of head injuries in football. This is the thing. You cannot expect violent people not to do violent shit.
Yep.
Like, we see it in boxing. A guy finished boxing and then he slapped the shit out of his wife. Well, not trying to diminish what happened, but it's a violent guy. Okay. Leave daddy alone. Leave daddy alone. Daddy just got back from a game. Leave daddy alone. Does head trauma affect you in your real life? It has to.
Mm-hmm.
It has to. If you're out there getting in a car wreck every day, I mean, we know people that's been in car wreck and they neck ain't right for weeks. We see football players pow and get right up, shake it off, and go function.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing we even expect that out of them. So does it affect them? I believe so. And the research on CTE and things of that nature proves it. But like Talon said, some people are just dirtbags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dirtbags are dirtbags. Like a rapist, he was a rapist before he played football.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can't blame that on the head injury, but it's probably aggravating it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the documentary this weekend on a football player that has ALS, which is Lou Gehrig syndrome. And this dude, his whole body is changed. He was a viable, healthy football player. And we know that the head trauma affected what happened to him ultimately in his life. So he says on the documentary, he's like, yo, I don't want to blame this on nobody. I just want to move forward in my life. But I blame it. All right. MVP season. Boy, y'all want to crown Tom Brady so bad. You know what I'm saying? Y'all really want to give look, Tom Brady is a great player. We all know that. But do I give him the MVP of the season? No, not right now. He had a great weekend. But not the MVP of the season. Not by the hair of my chinny chin as Talon. I think I was watching the Seattle Arizona game on a 13-inch black and white because I got a different play of the game. I'm pretty sure I was on my 13-inch black and white. No, for me to play the game was the Russell Wilson throw the play out back outside. They score and the score comes back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the play of the game because we're not even having none of these conversations if that score counts. The bad luck on the play. I mean, we trying to. Frank the ass is Seattle exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got blew out. It was 34-37. They didn't. If they had got blew out, then I think they got exposed, guys. No, exposed.
Who's over there?
Off. They not exposed.
Who's over there, Rodney? Who's over there?
I'm just trying to figure out why would you even. No, they're not exposed. Now, I did some research. I'm like Frank. I'm always on the wire. And according to the wire, Dak put a hit out on Andy Dalton.
Oh, that's that one?
Dak actually is trying to have Andy Dalton murdered, and it almost worked, but it was foiled by Scooby-Doo and some white kids. Let's talk about Cam, guys. Our friend Talent said it best. Cam is still sick. And I'm saying it from a perspective of a guy that had COVID-19. So what happens is it wreaks havoc on your lungs. Now, he's in tip-top world-class shape. So it ain't going to affect him like it affect Rodney Perry. But over the last couple of weeks, he's shown signs of fatigue. He's shown signs, like he's out there. He probably even feels like he's great, long as he ain't moving. But once you start, he hasn't been running the ball. Has he tripped over that? He hasn't run the ball. He's been short-arming the passes. Like, that's all signs of fatigue. And your lungs bad is probably affecting his throwing motion. Now that could be an excuse, but I'm sticking with it. All right. To answer your question, Fig, I do know some Stidhams. I went to high school with some Stidham. I went to high school with Jamal and Michael Stidham, and but their name came out because they mama didn't know how to use vowels. My man Tyler said he's never been dumb hype over Russell Wilson. Dumb hype? That's hyper than you could possibly ever be. Dumb hype. Dumb hype. I said, dumb hype? I don't know if I've ever been like I used to date this girl, right? She's real thick and I wasn't dumb hype over her. And so I want to be dumb hype. Y'all all dumb hype over Aaron Rodgers, though. And to quote the great Figmund Freud, Aaron Rodgers got mollywop last week. Did we forget that?
Yeah, he did.
Mollywop last week. Like, look, Russell Wilson lose by 3 points, and we're trying to see if he exposed. Aaron Rodgers, the greatest of all time, get mollywop on national TV by a week later, 7 days. We talking about he's the greatest of all time. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. And finally, if the fat lady is singing, I believe she's singing "Seems Like You're Ready" by R. Kelly. Seems like you're ready. I must say you're ready. Hey, great day today, guys. I didn't cover baseball because I don't care.
Hey, Rodney.
But Rodney, this is one of the best World Series of all time. This is by far one of the best World Series.
But you know what? This has exposed the fact. This one got exposed, Frank. Baseball takes too long.
Yeah.
The whole baseball takes too long. If we should truncate that season, bring it down. The playoffs is going quick. They playing every other day. Like, I don't like basketball in the bubble, but I like baseball like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they should have played 7 innings. Go Little League.
Hey, Rodney, who do you have for the NFL MVP this year?
It's crazy you say that, Fig. I'm glad you asked me that, man. NFL MVP right now. Stay with me on this. NFL MVP, Cam Newton-Taylor. I mean, the guy got CTE.
Oh, God, I can't with you right now.
The guy got CTE. The guy got COVID-19, and he's still wearing them tight pants. His lungs can't expand, and I think that's part of the problem. So I'm giving it to Cam Newton-Taylor.
So I think you ain't answering the question, then, Rodney, huh? You ain't gonna answer
No, that's just how you gonna diss my answer, Pelican Brief? Pelican Brief always trying to come for me, man.
I'm just saying. So you ain't gonna answer the question. Yeah.
Look.
And okay, let me rephrase the question.
Okay.
Who is your MVP in the NFL?
All right, NFL MVP.
Yeah.
Let's look at it. Y'all all pick Tom Brady.
No. I picked Ben. Ben
You
and
pick
the
Ben.
Steelers.
That don't make no sense either. Let's
He's undefeated.
Let's agree
He's
that Ben
undefeated.
is not the guy. Okay, Ben is not the guy. Let's say who is not. It's not Ben. It could be Tom Brady. Tom Brady is definitely top 2. It's not Aaron Rodgers.
No.
It's it might be Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray on a dead heat. It might be.
Okay.
It might be.
With that being said, I'm bringing my man Stack, checking the fact. Stack, what did we get wrong?
Y'all had a nice clean show today, man. Other than all this Tom Brady praise, giving him the MVP, everything else sounded about right to me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna ask you guys these questions. I'm gonna go around and ask you guys these questions, and because I waited for my 2 people who are planted in Atlanta to come in and ask this now. What the hell is wrong with Todd Gurley? Do you think he did that purposely? I'm gonna stop with you, Rodney Perry, because that was one of the dumbest plays I've seen in years in the NFL. I mean, I've seen some dumb plays, especially for the Cowboys, but for him to say his momentum carried him in, and it looked like I don't know. It seems suspect.
I mean, he should have laid down in front of the zone, let the clock go. But I mean, the guy you talking about a guy that's been trying to score his whole life. I mean, we understand coaching and it makes sense, but at the same time, that's a tough thing to ask a guy. First of all, he done spent all season watching him not even touch the ball. He been in Atlanta, he ain't even touch the ball. And so then they finally start giving him the ball. He's like, shit, I'm about to go. Oh, shit. Damn, my bad. I'm sorry, coach. You said don't score, did you? If you want to do that, you don't blame Todd Gurley. You take a knee.
Yeah.
Take a knee.
Yeah.
The clock still runs. Why give it to a running back who runs?
All right, Stack, what you think about that? I'm gonna ask you.
I'm right there with Rodney. They could have just took a knee the next play. I mean, or I don't know, or took a knee on that play. I mean, sorry.
But the problem is when you take a knee, I'll say when you take a knee, now you take the knee 3 yards further back. You know what I mean? Like you're going backwards when you take the knee, because then it starts there. You know what I mean? It's 2 or 3 yards back. But Talon, what you think?
Yeah.
The whole idea was that the clock would keep running, though.
Right.
Yeah, the clock would be still going, but now you're 3 yards back. But they still wanted to score, or they still wanted to get a field goal. They just wanted to put it, they just wanted to kill some time off the clock.
It was inside the red zone, though, Frank. All field goals easy there.
Oh, supposed to be anyway.
Exactly. Thank you.
Tell that to the Buffalo Bills.
Thank you. Fig, what you think?
And you know what? It's like these players go on automatic pilot. You know what I mean? It's like second nature. And you'd be surprised how many times this has happened in the NFL. He's not the first person to do that. Get to the goal line and be like, you know what? I really don't want to score, and then try and stop, and then it'd be too late. This happens a lot in the NFL because these guys, they're so geared to crossing that goal line. When it's time not to, it's kind of hard for them to pull that back.
Right. Stack, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna start around you and ask you this question. Justin Herbert finally got a W, yesterday. He played the Jaguars.
Your boy.
Yeah, and I'm high on this dude because I think he's really, really good. I don't think the record matches how good they are and the team is and everything else. But I'm gonna ask you this, and we go around this thing right now. Do you think I'm gonna stay out of this? Do you think Justin Herbert is the real deal after what you saw yesterday? Stack, what you think?
I think he's formidable right now. He's not the real deal yet. He's just formidable. He's formidable.
Okay, Roger.
They're gonna get the tape.
Nice word. I don't like Justin Herbert because Frank does. Frank loves this little dude, and just because of that, I'm gonna find a way to dislike him. He looked like Opie Cunningham. Cunningham.
Talon, what you think? Justin
Give me a minute. Come back to me. I'm looking up formidable.
Right,
Yo, man, listen. I like the kid, man. He has a lot of potential, man. If they put the right pieces around him, I think he'd be able to do something. So yeah, okay. I like the kid. I think he'd be able to do something. Frank, okay. I just ask you a quick question. Do you think that they'd be willing to trade him to the Patriots?
Anyway, Talon, let's find out what formidable means. What you think?
Well, somewhere out there, there's a fat lady waiting to sing. And the song, Frank, I think Fig would be, what's that song? And I Am Telling You.
I'm not going.
I'm not going.
My last couple of questions now. I want to jump to the NBA, even though the show's winding down. I just got an alert right now on my iPad just now that said that Blake Griffin of Detroit is looks like that they're talking to Portland Trailblazers to get Blake Griffin over there, Portland Trailblazers. I'm gonna start with my man Stack because we ain't got that much time. Do you think Blake Griffin on Detroit makes sense, or do you think that that's ridiculous and they shouldn't even do it? What you think?
And I think it makes a lot of sense. I think he brings another dimension that they don't have right now. So it'd be a great pickup. Great pickup.
Okay, Rodney Perry, what you think? Did Blake Griffin on the
I just got on my wire that looks like Ronnie DeVoe be going in that deal as well to Portland. Ronnie DeVoe headed to Portland as a part of the Blake Griffin deal. I think that's a great look. That's a good look for Portland. Portland needs a big defensive and offensive presence. Your boy been over in Detroit. You ain't seen him on TV or nothing in 2.5 years. He just want to get back in the game. So that's a good look for Blake.
Yeah, if he ends up going over there, I think Portland will beat a couple of people who we ain't expecting them to beat. With if Blake Griffin.
They're gonna beat the people, but they're gonna lose again.
I don't know who says that, mate. They're gonna beat people but lose again. I don't know how you can beat somebody and lose at the same time, but we'll find out.
They won't win no championship.
Hell no,
that's a good pickup, though. That's a good pickup for them.
Yeah. So you think so too, Talent? You think it's a good pickup?
Yeah, I think that kind of plugs one of those holes. You know what I mean? Like he you need that option, that somebody that one thing about Blake Griffin is he's a good crasher and he's exciting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what Portland needs, anything they bring in there right now, especially after the way they exited last playoffs, you're gonna need an excitable place. You can't just have these quiet role models. Blake Griffin is well respected. He's excitable and he crashes. To me, that's what was missing. They didn't have a lot of board crashes.
Yeah, I think that it helps too. Fig, what you think?
I'm flabbergasted because I didn't know that Blake Griffin was still in the NBA. I didn't know where he was. I didn't know he's still playing.
Hold on, let me look. Flabbergasted?
Flabbergasted, yes. But I think it'd be.
How you spell that, Talent?
Here's the thing: if Blake Griffin and Dame Dollar can stay healthy, I think they can make some noise.
Is that a PH or F? Flabber.
I think it's got two B's. It's got two B's too, right?
Let me throw you.
I'm fine.
Let me throw this last bone to y'all that we're gonna talk about a little bit today. We're gonna finish talking about tomorrow, and because I heard two more rumors, but I want to talk about it tomorrow too. The Bulls are shopping the number 4 pick to Philly. Now I'm gonna start with each one of y'all. I'm gonna go around. Start with you, Talent. You got to keep it short because the time's running out. Do you think the Bulls should shop the number 4 pick to Philly, and do you think Philly should take that? Yes or no? And briefly, what you think, Talent?
Well, absolutely, Philly should take it. I can't even look at it from the Bulls standpoint, but I'm gonna look at it from the Philly standpoint. And I said this when Doc going there. I said Doc is about to change the whole culture. Start shopping, do his own thing. This is part of that shopping, right?
Yeah, it is because we all know the Bulls got I think they got Billy Donovan now, and they making some moves. They're trying to make the change to make up for the team. Hey, you got 60 seconds. What you think?
Man, I think it'd be great, man. But who they getting?
We'll
Who they
see.
gonna get for the number 4 pick? Is it gonna be Joel Embiid? Is it gonna be
That's what they're hoping for, to get either Joel Embiid or Simmons for that number 4 pick. That's what they're hoping. And
I think it'd be good for the Bulls to get anybody because I don't know who they got now.
Rodney Perry, what you think?
I'm from Chicago, and I'm looking forward to the team getting blacker. And no, all jokes aside, man.
No, I know.
I felt like when the team got, all these Caucasian tough guys, that it changed the culture of the team. So Embiid is black as you get. So I would like to see him come. He African and he, yeah.
He just soft. Stack, what you think?
I think this is a move for Billy Donovan. They probably want him to get a little bit of an older team. He probably don't really want to coach a young team like Chicago, but I don't see Philly biting on that. I don't care. This draft's not even that deep. I don't see them doing it. They probably want to run it back with a better coach.
I don't know. I think Philly's going to entertain the thought, only because Philly. I said all this. This is my Pelican brief thing. I told you all several times that I don't see Doc keeping Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. I've been saying it. I just don't see it happening. Rodney Perry been making fun of me, but I promise you, at the beginning of the year, I'm gonna pull out my Pelican brief. I'm gonna go through things like this. I'm gonna say, it's a folder. I remember I said this. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it just like that. I'm gonna go like this and say, remember this? Okay, Rodney Perry. I remember I said this. Anyway, tell everybody out there how they can find you, so because we gotta get it rolled up out of here.
First of all, has anybody noticed my mug is matching my hoodie?
Oh yeah, we used to that.
It's just comedy, baby.
That's where you find it. It's just comedy. On
Why you stiff arm the dog though?
I got all pit bulls in this house, man. Find me on Twitter, and it's just comedy, baby.
Yo, man, before I tell you where to find me, man, I want to give a big shout out to the great Bobo Lamb for tuning in and comment and commenting on the show. Appreciate you checking in. This your boy FIG, Comedian Fig. You find me on all social media platforms and Comedian Fig, and I'm gonna be hanging out with that guy too.
Rodney Perry.
Hey man, first of all, I want to say thanks to all the Box Seats viewers. I had a few people come out to my show this weekend in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Incredible. Damon Williams put on a fabulous show and sold out 4 of those mugs, sold out of my merchandise. So thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. RodneyPerry.com for all things Rodney.
Yes, sir.
Simply, y'all catch me at Stacking Over on Twitter and Instagram, somewhere gloating about picking over these dudes every single week till they knock me off.
You ain't winning.
Hold up, Frank. I gotta say this, man. Stacks. Out of this week, you came in last.
That's
behind
fine.
all of us.
That's fine.
So your run is over.
Oh, wow.
That's why you so sad.
That's what you get for bragging, Stacks.
Okay, you know what? It's cool. It's a long season, guys.
All right, y'all. That's it for the show. I did think that Talent doing a Derrick Henry move to his dog was kind of funny, even though he Derrick Henry his dog. That was
you the
funny.
real MVPs, Talent.
Yeah, you real MVP. I'm Frank Holder. This is the show called The Box Seats. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about Chris Paul possibly going to the Lakers. It's been another big rumors, but will Chris Paul also go to the Clippers? There's rumors that Chris Paul's going to LA one way or the other. We're gonna figure all that out. We're gonna talk about all that tomorrow. Tomorrow the show's called The Box Seats. We come on at 1 o'clock. You download the Humor Mill app. You can see us. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, at 1 to 2. I'm Frank Holder. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and even call your cable service provider. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care. Peace.